It's a vertical format, but I guess everyone goes through it.
That's not how I wanted it, but that's how it's going to be.
Just roll with it.
Yeah.
You'll fix it in post. Only thing I can't see is a Chad.
I don't know why.
Maybe it's because I'm on my phone and not the easy map.
It might be. I'm gonna bring it up.
I do have sound.
Do you have sound? Good. Get a shot of the crowd.
Yeah, the other option you can do too is very cool. You can go to the Chelsea, you can go to the bar and you can order like appetizers and stuff too. I come quite frequently. Me and my bartender, I've tried most of these.
Good evening. Good evening, and welcome to the Queen Mary. We are so excited to have you all here today. My name is Steve Cloak. I'm the managing director of the Queen Mary, and I love this ship. You know, before I start, I look around, and we're so humbled to have you all here, and we're so humbled to really showcase our ship. You know, I look at all the gold lights that we just installed not too long ago, and I really think, you know, we're really bringing it back to the golden era. And all of our floors now have the gold illuminated lights, and they're LED too, you know, which is cool. But anyhow, and then I was looking at the video over here by Dylan. The video is cool because it's showing the Queen Mary actually going into the water for the first time. That's pretty cool. And just looking around at the stores, the bookstore and the candy store, which were originals when the ship sailed, and we turned it back into it, to the candy store and the bookstore. Back behind you, as you all know, that used to be a men's dress store, or men's suits, and we changed that to the Commodore's office. So all of our awesome officers over here, basically they make that home in the afternoon, and anybody can just go in there and say hi and ask questions, or I always like to say, like, try to stump the Commodore, but it never happens. But anyway, so happy to have you here. So before we start, we have a few dignitaries here that I want to recognize. And the first one is, oh, my heart, June Allen. June Allen, right here. I gotta give her a hug. So June sailed on this ship in 1946. So actually she came across the Atlantic, came over here, and you know, throughout the years we can tell stories of people who experienced the Queen Mary, and people that have stories, you know, people that have stories that have family, relatives, or whatever. But you actually have been here. You lived it, and 26 times she's been here. So we really honor you today, and thank you for being here on the 90th birthday of the Queen Mary. So thank you for being here. So anyway, I also wanted, is John around here? John Thomas, you around? John, okay. John heads up the Queen Mary Heritage Foundation. So John and the board were so kind to actually purchase the Royal Standard. So just to give you a little history, we looked at what was there before. It was actually a picture of the Queen Mary, and then we had the medallion, another medallion behind the front desk, and we thought it would look good behind the front desk to have the Queen Mary. So when we moved the Queen Mary portrait behind the front desk, we said, okay, so what was there before? That's me, my naive self. What was there before? So they told me about the Royal Standard, and once they told me about that, it's like, we have to have that. So I went to John. John was so gracious and kind to say, listen, our organization, our committee will talk to them and we can go ahead and purchase that. We got it about, Dylan, a month ago or 2 months ago, and finally it's installed, and that's what we can't roll out today, so thank you, John. I have to recognize Mary Rohr, great event today. QMI put on a really beautiful event in the Queen Salon and outside, on the foredeck. So thank you so much, Mary, Mike, the whole QMI. Thank you for a great event today and bringing the unicorns in battle back to life.
All right.
The other one, my heart, Everett Horde, yes. Our Commodore. Can we give a round of applause for the Commodore? The Commodore truly is the heart and soul of the Queen Mary, and I always say he's the face of the ship. He knows so much. He loves the ship. I always tell people, when they ask about the Commodore, I always say, when you're talking to him, you kind of see one side of him is factual. That's what entertains you, is that he's so factual, he knows so much. But then the other side of him is that he's so passionate about the ship. So you're entertained on the passion that he has for the ship. So thank you to the Commodore, and I know he's watching, and we love you, Commodore, and we wish you come back soon. And then also is a Tom Barry here. Tom Barry. Anyways, Commodore said, Commodore, make sure you call out my friend Tom Barry. So, okay, all right, Tom, good job. And then I'd be remiss real quick as Brian, are you around? Brian Duskin? Brian was my boss with Evolution. He retired, but he's the one who hired me. And then when he hired me, he basically said how important this was to Evolution. And I just want to give him a recognition. Thank you, Brian, for everything you've done for the Queen. And then last but not least is just the city of Long Beach. The city of Long Beach, a lot of people don't realize how much work they put into it, or we're a big team, into ensuring that the Queen stays alive at least another 100 years. And, so the city really does a good job, and our partners, Johnny Vallejo and Bo Martinez, and the mayor and city manager Tom Modica, they're just fantastic in the support that they give all of us to ensure that the ship keeps on getting better each and every day. So I want to thank the city of Long Beach. Thank you very much. So the Royal Standard, all right, well, my official speech here. The Royal Standard was gifted by Queen Mary herself to her namesake luxury liner, the RMS Queen Mary, in 1936. We are here today on the 90th anniversary, September 26, 2024, to bring back the Royal Standard to the grand staircase where it was home until the 1960s. Captain James and First Officers Paul Jasek and Danny Rangel will have more to say about this in the special unveiling in just a bit. So my part on the Royal Standard is really short because I know you guys are all shippies and you guys know so much about the ship, so I'm afraid I'm going to say something wrong and you're all going to give me weird looks and roll your eyes, so I'm just going to stick to that. That's how much I know about the Royal Standard. But these guys right here, they know so much, so thank you guys in advance. So moving on, we have a lot to celebrate today as we unveil the Royal Standard on the 90th anniversary. But if you would allow me now, I just want to take the opportunity to tell you, because I know there's many of you who share our passion in the ship. I want to tell you some of the things that we're doing right now and where we're going. Like some of the things, just so you know, because I think we're all vested in this ship because I think we have a passion for this ship and we really want to honor the memories, the tradition, and all the great things that happened on the ship in years past. So with that being said, when I read out some of the things we're doing and some of the things we are going to do, just know that this is for you. This is for the guest. It has to be for the guest. It has to be for you. When we come on this ship, we look at the beautiful ship, but we also know that we're doing it for somebody, and we're doing it for you. And we want to make sure we keep on getting better and better and better for you. So don't ever forget that, it's for you. And we really want to just get back to a new golden era. So some of the things that some of the wins we have so far. So the Royal Sunday Brunch is back. So it came back on December 3rd. It's wonderful. If you haven't been there, you got to check it out. If you haven't been there yet, it's set up totally different. All the people are in the front where they can enjoy the beautiful Grand Salon, and all the food is over in the Windsor. So it looks great. Dark Harbor is back, which is great. Our 4th of July parties, our 4th of July and New Year's Eve parties are back. And Alex actually performed last year for the 4th of July and did a great job. But more and more people on the ship for that. We also have live music in the observation bar, so we're bringing the music back onto the ship, not just with the observation bar, but with the Sunday brunch. Something that we do on a regular basis is we do, I'm saying this to this crowd, we do Meet Me at the Mary, and then woohoo, and that happens every Tuesday night. We love it because everybody comes dressed the way you're dressed right now. And they just come and they do dance lessons and they do dancing, and it's just fabulous, a good energy. We do, in the summer, we do margaritas on the Mary, right outside, on the starboard side, up those stairs. We are doing night markets and movie nights. The last movie night, Dylan, how many we do? Over 3,000 people, right? So we're doing, and again, why are we doing that? Are we doing that just to show people the movies and to make money? No, we want people to be exposed to the ship. We want people to look at the ship. So with these 3,000 people before or after the movie, they're coming onto the ship. We are doing events. This is our strategy, is that we're doing many events. We do, of course, we have Alex playing with us quarterly. We have a Speakeasy tonight, for instance. December 9th, the anniversary when the ship came into Long Beach, we're planning something special. So please keep your eye on our website, queenmary.com/what's on deck. What's on deck is everything that's going on in Queen Mary. We also have new tours. So we have a new VIP tour that happens Friday, Saturday. We have a new graveyard tour, paranormal tour, Hollywood tour, and we are, as of a few months ago, we're offering tours in Spanish now. We have a game room. So this way we took the TVs out of the observation bar. I always say that's the first thing I did when I started here, went to the observation bar. I looked in there, there's 2 TVs. I'm like, no, this can't happen. So we created a game room and everybody's in there. We have 2 ship models that are brand new, and I want to, Tom, are you there? Tom Barney? Tom did an awesome job. He built the Queen Mary and the Queen Elizabeth, and they're in the Welcome Center, and thank you so much. It's made a big difference to our guest experience. We actually went back to the original teak floor in the prom deck, so we got rid of all that shiny stuff, and it's back to the original. We talked about the retail stores. We added 50 more staterooms to our inventory effective last week, so now we are up to 250 staterooms. And then all the exhibit displays. As you walk around the ship and you see displays, especially like on the R deck or outside the Britannia, all of those are brand new. When I say new, they're new, but at the same time, it's all from the archives, and it's just, some of it is originals and some of it is replicas, but it's really beautiful. And we just want to let you know that little things like that we don't forget. It may not be noticeable, but we want to make sure that we just, sustain the beautiful history of the ship. We have the Heritage Room, which is right down this way, if you just want to go and sit there and watch a few beautiful videos of history of the ship. And then little things that we do, like there's a sign right above the front desk that used to say the purser's office. And that right there, we found, the Commodore and I found that sign all broken up in the archives about 6 months ago. And we're like, oh my gosh, what is that? And he's like, oh, that used to be at the front desk. And, of course, I'm like, oh, can I see a picture? Not that I don't believe you, but can I see a picture? So he shows it to me, and it was just so beautiful. So then we restored it, and it's back at the front desk if you look at it. So, and then again, just working closely with the community that we love. Rotary, we do the Rotary lunches here, and in fact, the Rotary actually offices out of the Queen Mary now. And then last month, we were awarded by Sunset Magazine as Where to Stay, Historic Hotels, the best hotel on the West Coast. So anyways, so lots of good things happening. I'll quickly go through it because I know we want to do the reveal, but some of the things in the works, of course, is the Royal Standard. As you look at the Royal Standard, there's a plaque here to the left. It's a plaque, and then down below the plaque, it's turquoise, and it says Queen Mary Museum. May not seem that significant, but throughout the ship, we're turning the ship into a museum. So all the pictures that you see, especially on the prom deck, all the pictures, there's 12 of them right now, they all have plaques telling you what it is. But in time, anything that's historical, anything that was back there, we're going to have plaques to explain to everyone what's the history or what's the significance of the art piece or what have you. So we're really happy about that. The unicorns in battle, we'll get those done in January and February, so we're planned. So March, we should have a totally restored unicorns in battle in the Queen Salon. We are adding more furniture to the ship all over. Let's see, we're bringing high tea back. So high tea back is something that people will be excited about. And then we have a wonderful, awesome food and beverage director. His name is Kurt, and he said, Steve, we're going to get Sir Winston's back for them. Yes! So anyway, we don't know when, but we know we're going to make it right. And knowing Kurt, he's not going to open it until it's the best. So we're going to be having date night, dinner and dance in the Queen Salon. We're also going to be doing something called a night at the Veranda Grill, where it's music and dinner. We also, John Thomas is working, you know where the wedding gallery is, right here to the side, where we have all the pictures of, you know, we're actually gonna turn that into an archives and art museum. So as you go through and look at it, it's all the archives on the bottom we're gonna bring up. And you'll be able to see everything, china, glass, silver, the old tables, desks, everything in the 1930s and 40s will be out there, and our goal is to have it by December 9th, to have that done. We are gonna open up our movie theater. There's a 4D theater in the back of the ship, the aft of the ship. In fact, I think, Dylan, we did one already as a test. So we are gonna be having movies here at the Queen Mary. All right. Yeah. So, and then we are opening something called a Commodore's Club for our hotel guests. And that's going to be down at the Starboard Lounge, and it'll be for our hotel guests that come in that just want a little quiet room. That's the Commodore's Lounge. For all of, I don't know, this is kind of cool, this is exciting to me, but up on the sports deck, we are adding pickleball. So up on it, it's still the original wood, you know, but you know, our hotel guests can play pickleball while they're overlooking the city. We're also going to be looking at adding an escape room and the propeller. If you guys haven't seen the propeller on the ship, it's one of the most, it's probably one of my favorite parts of the entire ship is the propeller. So we're looking at getting the propeller cleaned up, having divers go down there. It's bronze, so getting back to its regular bronze and really actually making an event out of it when, you know, and I think Carol and I are going to go down there in diving suits and clean it, yeah. So anyway, and then last but not least is just, you know, a program called Passport Membership. So we're going to come out where it's going to make it easier for you to come onto the ship. We don't want it to be confusing. Sometimes we hear feedback like, how do I get on the ship? Or I just want to eat, or I just want to do this. Guess what? You make sense. It totally makes sense. So we're going to come up with something like a new Passport Membership where it's very simple. You could buy a membership and you just come on the ship anytime you want. So, yeah. So we're definitely excited about our future and in the months ahead and the years ahead, and we can't do any of this without our team, our Director of Experiences, Dylan, our ship's officers, you know, the Commodore, all of our team, and we're excited because we feel like we got the right team to keep going forward. And every time we wake up in the morning and we get dressed, we just know we're going to go forward. We know we're going to hit road bumps. We might fail sometimes, but we want to make the ship better each and every day. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you everyone for joining us on the Queen Mary. And you know, one of the things we live by, like our mantra here, is we create experiences. That's everything. Every day we come to work, everything falls under what experience are we going to create. So we thought that so much so we actually hired a Director of Experiences. So I'm going to hand it off to our Director of Experiences, Dylan, and he's going to set the agenda of what's going to happen tonight. So with that being said, thank you so much for being here.
I'm going to be very short because I have to start working on that list he just rattled off. Those were all new ideas I hadn't heard of. No, but one of the things we're so excited to rally around here as a team is making it better. And every time you come back, there's going to be something new. So like he said, check out queenmary.com/what's on deck. And that's all the fun, exciting things that we're doing here on the ship. To talk about tonight, I am going to have our ship's officers come up, and I'll have Captain James tell you a little bit about the history of the ship. I'm sure everyone here knows about it, but we would be remiss to not celebrate the 90 years that have gotten us to this point. So they're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to go down, we'll do the reveal of the Royal Standard. We'll be passing out some champagne momentarily so that we can all toast to that new era and the 90 years to come. After that, we invite you guys to join us in the observation bar. If you guys have tickets, we also have Alex Menham and his orchestra in the Queen Salon. We hope you're joining us for that. We do have some tickets available if you didn't snag those yet. And again, we can't wait to see you around the ship as we activate more and more and more. So thank you for being here. And with that being said, let's bring up Captain James and our ship's officers.
Queen Mary lovers, can I hear you? Can I hear you? Oh, y'all been quiet for a minute. It's time to wake up now because we are here to celebrate this beautiful lady. But guess what? It takes a team to make this beautiful lady be who she is. That being said, I present to you two of our ship's officers. Officer Danny Rangel, Officer Paul Jasek, these two men, well, they stay on my case all the time. Seriously, they do, guys. They really do. But before I continue, our leader has spoke of the fact that Commodore Everett is not here today. I look out here in this crowd and I see a lot of faces that I know. I see a lot of faces that know Commodore Everett. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, young captain, without Commodore Everett, this ship would not have the soul that she has today. Amen. And that's a fact. The man has been here for over 40 some years. Just like him, all three of us have the blood of the Queen Mary in our veins. Just like you, we love the Queen Mary. For those of us that went through something recently called COVID, that was hard, y'all. After being on board the Queen Mary for over 20 some years, that was hard to stay at home and push a button on a TV remote. I wanted to get back to our beautiful lady. But COVID said, no, slow down, let the process take place. Speaking of the process, it's 90 years, the process that the Queen Mary has gone through. They began to build her in 1930. She was launched in 1934. She began her maiden voyage in 1936. And in the process of, sailing in 1936, something happened called a war. And the Queen Mary was drafted into service as a troop transport, meaning that she transported soldiers to and from the war. Ladies and gentlemen, most of you know how many people were made to travel on board the Queen Mary, that being a crew of 1,200 and 2,000 passengers. During World War II, the Queen Mary started out transporting 5,000 soldiers. Then, 10,000 soldiers, then 15,000 soldiers, then 16,663 souls. That record, still stands today. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that that record is never, ever, ever, ever broken. If that record is broken, that probably means that we are in World War III. I don't know. I don't know if we can survive World War III. There was a man called Winston Churchill who said that the Queen Mary helped shorten the war by 1 year of transporting over 800,000 soldiers and nurses during World War II. Ladies and gentlemen, if it had not been for the Queen Mary, today, we might all be speaking a different language. Did you hear what I said? We may all be speaking a different language. You see, you know about the ship that was painted what? Battleship gray. So that it would blend in with the ocean surface and the enemy would not readily spot the Queen Mary out on the ocean surface. Thus, she began with the name of the Great Ghost. Now, this continued up until 1947, and after the war was over, the Queen Mary brought back war brides, just like June Allen, and war babies from Europe to the United States. My family, I challenge each and every one of you out here today, look into your heritage. Look into your background. Who knows? Maybe some of your relatives traveled on board the Queen Mary during World War II, either as military or as a war bride or as a war baby. After the war was over, she went back to her passenger service. She continued passenger service until 1967, when in the early 1960s, along came a thing called the aeroplane. The aeroplanes basically put these ships out of business because you could get on a plane and go to England from 12 to 16 hours. Whereas if you were on board the Queen Mary, it would take you 5 days over and 5 days back. From Southampton, England to New York, New York to Southampton, England. So that was the beginning of what I call the microwave way of life, where we wanted to do everything fast. So therefore, people began to take planes to Europe, and the Queen Mary began to lose passengers. And in the process of doing so, Cunard decided that it was time for this great lady to be sold. The Queen Mary was put up for auction, and the city of Long Beach, California was the highest bidder with $3.5 million in 1967. In 1967, $3.5 million was a lot of money. Today, well, that's pocket change. Just saying. The Queen Mary began her final voyage to Long Beach, California, but because she was 8 feet too wide to pass through the Panama Canal, she had to go all the way around Cape Horn to arrive here in Long Beach, California. Guys, that was a 39-day trip. Wow. 39 days. And in the process of doing so, some of the windows that you see out here on the Promenade Deck were actually broken by the waves. Oh my. And the ship was filled to capacity. And at that particular time, that was a lot of money, $5,000 to $10,000 to take the final voyage of the Queen Mary. The Queen Mary arrived here in Long Beach in 1967, and I had the distinct honor of seeing the bow of this ship arrive here in Long Beach. For those of you that are local, there's a place called Signal Hill over here. At that particular time, that's exactly what it was. A hill with grass and old school oil wells. My friends and I were on top of that hill on our bikes. We were full of piss and vinegar. We had no fear. We didn't think that we could be hurt. We went down a very steep hill that we call Gas Hill to see how fast we could go down that hill without breaking our necks. In the process of doing so, I was awaiting my turn. I looked up and I saw the bow or the front of the Queen Mary coming across the harbor. And I said to my friends, that is a big blankety, 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 blankety boat. My family, I had no idea that later I would work on board the Queen Mary, much less become the captain of the Queen Mary. Understand this, it is an honor to be on board this beautiful ship, to serve with these gentlemen, to serve with all of the team members on board the Queen Mary. Understand that the Queen Mary is the only one of her sister ships that is still standing, that is still above water. The rest of them are either sank or cut up for scrap. Ladies and gentlemen, she is the survivor. She is the survivor. She withstood World War II. She withstood submarines that tried to catch her. She withstood COVID. COVID tried to stop her. But yet, she still stands. I say to each of you, long live the Queen. Long live the Queen. Can I hear you? Long live the Queen. Long live the Queen. Long live the Queen. Happy birthday, Queen Mary.
Let's give it up for Captain James one more time. I hope everybody has their champagne ready, guys. Let's go down and let's unveil the Royal Standard.
We going to? Are we going?
Somehow I don't think so.
I was ready to go down there.
That post is in the way. I want to know what happened to the first standard, the original.
I took it.
There she is, the Royal Standard back in her rightful place. Ship's officers, come on over for some photos. Again, hope you guys get some pictures. We'll come up and take the stanchions down. Hope you guys get some pictures. We'll see you at Alex Menham in about 30 minutes. If you don't have tickets for that, we will see you in the observation bar. Thank you for being here with us to celebrate 90 years aboard the Queen Mary. Thank you all.
Love you, Mary!
Beautiful. You and the Queen. Princess, Duchess. We're here with the Queen.
Did it turn out okay? Yeah. Get over there by the speaker.
Watch the cord.
Yeah, let me get this out of the way for everybody. I'm gonna get a close up.
up here for everybody. I think everybody can hear me now. I switched over to the local mic. I wanted to get a close-up for everybody.
I don't know about that.
All right, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I can't really communicate on the live chat, everybody, but I can read what you guys are saying. All right, everybody. I'm gonna say goodnight. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll talk to you all soon.